everyone, happy 2020. I am back with a new look, a kind of New Year's Eve sultry, smoky, dark look. So I'm starting this off by priming my eyes. I'm using the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Caffeine. I also just want to preface this by saying my eyebrows were already done in advance. I used what I typically use, which is the Ben Nye Cream shadow, like contour color, and an eyebrow pencil that I'll put down below. So I'm using the Too Faced Natural Love eyeshadow palette, and I used the shade Heaven to set my primer. And then I went into the shade Nudie on a BH Cosmetics like small crease brush, and I just started building that shade up in my crease. I went over about like 3 or 4 times just to get it really deep and like cool toned and brown, and I just wanted to darken it up a little bit. And then I switched to a Mary Kay crease brush, which is just a little fluffier, and blended that out, built it up a little more. I moved on to the Maybelline Fit Me face powder in the darkest color in the shade 40, and I'm using this Wet n Wild crease brush now, and I'm putting that shade above the nudie shade. And then I just taped my eyes, and I just started building up the crease a little bit more. I meant to tape my eyes before I started, but I honestly just forgot. So then I moved on, and I just kind of blended out the crease, built it up a little more, made sure the two browns blended together since one was warm and one was cool. Went back in with Nudie and built that up a little bit more. Just more blending, as always. And then I finally moved on. I'm using the Milani Fierce Foil eyeshadow little palette. This is the like gold shade in the pan. I believe this one is number 2. It's just called like number 2, and it's like the gold and bronzy shades. So I took the lightest gold color and put that kind of in my inner corner, and I'm using a small little BH Cosmetics brush that I got from their Smoky Eye palette. Their Smoky Eye brush set. Sorry, that made no sense. And then I'm moving on to another Mary Kay brush. This one's like a flat brush, but it's kind of fluffy. And I took that dark shade Makeup and Chill, and I put that on my eye. And I also then go over top of that with Chocolate Martini to get a little bit more like shimmer. And then I just kind of, smoked the shadow out a little bit to kind of be like angled and look almost like a liner would. I'm going back into that Milani palette that I was talking about earlier and just kind of fixing where it is on my eye and trying to blend it into the brown shade on my eye. Moving on to eyeliner. This is a felt tip liner. I think it's Black Radiance. And then I just started lining my eyes. I did kind of like a thin line because I wanted it to be kind of subtle. Moving on to eyeliner. This is a, one for my waterline. So I tight lined with it, and then I did my waterline. This is NYK eyeliner in black. And then I start to line my eyes. I'm using, actually this is the NYC liquid eyeliner. Once again, I think I said this before in a different video, but I don't know if you can still buy this because I believe NYC is discontinued. But which is really sad because they made some great products. But yeah, I'm just using that. This is the glitter eyeliner. And then I moved into that gold shade Honey Pot, and I just used that to super highlight my inner corner. And I'm using a small pointed like MAC brush. Going back into that eyeliner, I just went to my waterline on the other eye, and I know I pulled my eye down. Don't do that. I know it's bad for you. I know it gives you wrinkles. and I just connected the black eyeliner to the gold. Then I'm using the Too Faced Damn Girl mascara, and I just kind of built that up and tried to get my lashes as voluminous as possible. Then I moved on. I used Fairy Tale, the like light gold at the top of the palette, and I highlighted my brow bone with that. I don't know if you guys can hear like music in the background. If you can, my sister's watching Hairspray and it's very loud. So then I just gelled my brows down. I'm using the Maybelline Great Lash Blast, and I put a huge glob of gel like underneath my eyebrow on my skin. So I had to clean that up. Also, please excuse my nails. I know they're like super not cute in this video. I had acrylics and I broke them off, and I just didn't feel like taking the rest of them off because I wanted to film. I'm moving on to my face. I'm using the NYX Studio Perfect primer. It's like their silicone primer, and I focused that on like my cheeks and my nose. Where my pores are large is where I focused it. And then I moved on to a different primer for like the other parts of my face. This is the e.l.f. Blemish Control Primer. Use that, and then I went into this, I don't even know what you'd call this product. I guess it's kind of like a liquid highlight. It's the Glam Glow in Nude, just to glow up my skin, but I accidentally used way too much. So I put it on before my foundation, and then I mixed in the rest with my foundation. So we're gonna be super glowy in this video. And here I'm just using the e.l.f. Flawless Foundation, I believe is what this is called. I can't remember my shade. I'll put it down in the description. And I'm just using my Real Technique sponge to kind of blend the two products together and then blend them out on my face. And then I moved on to this e.l.f. I think this is called a blender brush. I really can't remember, but it comes in like a little mini e.l.f. brush set. So I used that to kind of blend in the small parts of my face that I couldn't reach with the sponge, like, you know, around my temples. I was trying to be careful not to get too much makeup in my hair because I kind of sort of a little bit did my edges. Then I just kind of, you know, made sure everything was as blended as possible. Started to blend on my jawline, down my neck a little. Then I went on to highlighting my face with concealer. I'm using Maybelline Fit Me in Cafe. I went very minimal on the forehead and nose just because I already feel that I have kind of a large forehead and kind of a large nose. So I go pretty minimal on the highlight there. And then I just set that highlighter using, this is the e.l.f. Contour Palette, and I'm using the like kind of light cool tone brown shade. I'm using that to set the concealer. And then I moved on to the under eye area. I was putting concealer there, but I accidentally put like a ton of concealer on the pimple underneath my eye, so I guess that's gonna be highlighted too. Then I moved on to the e.l.f. concealer like kit, and I used a slightly deeper shade that matches my skin tone pretty much, and I mixed that in with the Maybelline for additional coverage and to kind of help it look a little less light. blended that out, and then I set it with the same color that I used to set the highlighted areas earlier. I kind of mixed the two light browns together though, just to give me an additional like lightness underneath my eyes. And then I began to set my face with powder. I used the Maybelline Fit Me powder in 40 is the number. It's like the darkest shade they offer in this powder. And I used my sponge to set this down, and then I'm gonna go in and blend it out with a brush. This powder is a little like weird on me. It's a little like almost dark. I think it's the undertone. I think the undertone's off, but you know, it once I fix it, do everything else, it works. So I blend that out so that the powder isn't all like sitting in spots. Then I went into my e.l.f. powder. I think this is just called e.l.f. face powder, e.l.f. flawless face powder. This is in the shade dark. I used that a little bit to balance out the color a bit. Then going back into that e.l.f. contour kit, I just started doing my contour. I used the deepest shade, and I'm using the e.l.f. like massager brush or whatever. It has like, it's called like multi-use tool or something, I forget. But it's the really funny shaped e.l.f. brush. Y'all know the one I'm talking about. I swear e.l.f. isn't sponsoring this video. I realized I used a ton of e.l.f. products in this video, but I had a lot because I planned on filming and like the full face of e.l.f. video. I dipped into the shade Makeup and Chill to add to my contour a little bit to kind of, you know, give me a little bit more of a reddish coloring, which is not typically what I go for, but I was feeling it. And then for blush, I mixed Lace Teddy and a little bit of Bunny Nose, and I got like a really shimmery look. So then I took a little bit of Honeymoon just to give me a little bit more of like a peachy look and add a little bit more glow. I went to highlighter. This is the ColourPop highlighter in Churro, and I just realized that I cut so you couldn't even see me use it, but honestly I didn't really go too heavy with it. And then I went back into the gold shades from the palette. I think I mixed Fairy Tale and Honey Pot, and I used that to highlight. I'm using the e.l.f. highlighter brush, and I put on way too much highlighter because I literally have like 3 colors on so I had to blend that out. And yep, there we go. I'm putting the ColourPop highlighter on top and blending them all together. Highlighting my nose bridge, center of my nose, my cupid's bow, blending that out. A little bit on the forehead, not too much. I very lightly dipped my brush into the ColourPop highlighter, and I just kind of swept that underneath my brow bone, over my crease. Moving on to, this is the pencil that I was talking about earlier that I used on my eyebrows. I use it as a lip liner too. And I just began to line my lips. And this is in the shade Cocoa. And then I just went on to my lipstick. I'm using NYX Liquid Lingerie. Can't remember the shade of this either, so I'll put it in the description. But it's like a very deep, kind of cool tone brown. And I kind of had to layer this up a little bit because it's a little sheer at first application. Back into my contour palette by e.l.f. I just took the gold shade and I put that kind of on the center of my lips to give me a little bit of shimmer because I decided to leave the lip matte and not go over it with a gloss. Then I just had to fix my hair and be cute, and yep, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching.